Tuesday morning, 55-year-old Rogers Inge pulled into Cleveland High School in Clayton for his shift as a janitor. It was 8 a.m., and 22-year-old Dontarius Batts was with him. Inge told police he was a full-time caregiver for Batts because he has special needs. Inge told police he left Batts in his car with the windows up and engine off. 2 hours later, at 10 a.m., Inge told police he stopped back at his car and said Batts was fine. Inge then went on to finish his shift, returning to his vehicle just after 4:15 p.m., more than 6 hours later. But this time, Batts was unresponsive. Inge left the school with Batts in his car and called 911 more than 25 minutes later, admitting he was responsible for Batts' death.
Code Lee, Cleveland Fire Station 1, Cleveland Fire Station 1, subject should be pulling in the vehicle.
The call operator directed him to stop at the Cleveland Fire Station. That's more than 2 miles away from the school. Cleveland's fire chief tells me firefighters tried to save Batts, but he was ultimately pronounced dead at the scene. Inge was taken into custody, charged with involuntary manslaughter. Johnston County Schools provided a statement today saying Inge was terminated as an employee as of this morning. They could not confirm how long he had worked for the school. And Inge was released on a $35,000 secured bond this morning. I did try to contact the company that he said he worked for as a caregiver, but have not received a response. Sean Gallagher, WRAL News, Johnston County.
Dontarius, I should say, affectionately called him Dante. It has now been about 48 hours or so since he was found dead here in the parking lot of Cleveland High School. Listen, it's a tragedy, they say, didn't have to happen.
There is no justice for this. You can't bring Dante back.
You can see and hear the pain in Geraldine Alshami's voice.
In your worst state of mind, I mean, they lock folks up for keeping animals in cars, okay? For animals. You didn't see him more than an animal? You didn't stop to think that this is a human being?
Her grandson, 25-year-old Dontarius Batts, was nonverbal and had autism. He had been under the care of 55-year-old Roger Ing for almost 10 years and had even been on vacation with his caretaker's family. That's why the family can't understand why he left Batts in the car during an 8-hour work shift. Dante loved Roger.
He would wear out a pair of Venetian blinds looking for him. They had to get safety procedures on the doors because he would walk and look for him so much. And that's the piece that's so painful.
Dante's mom was also there, but too heartbroken to speak with me on camera. She says he was the youngest of 5 siblings. Tiara Blackston last saw her brother Sunday and was expecting him to return this weekend.
I wish I would have took a little bit more time with him if I would have known it was going to be the last time.
Home services agencies say before hiring caregivers, make sure they have verifiable references and a clear background check. They say stories like this make potential clients hesitant in seeking help.
This is someone that, by all accounts, should have been someone that could be trusted with their loved one.
And that's why this family is dealing with regret, because they say they trusted a caretaker with Dante's life.
You took an innocent life, a life of somebody who loved you dearly, a family who trusted you with their most precious gift.
And the victim's family launched an online fundraiser hoping to cover the cost of Dante's funeral. As for Ing, he is now facing involuntary manslaughter charges. We're live in Johnston County. Akila Davis, ABC 11 Eyewitness News.
What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing today? Hope your day's going pretty good. My day's going pretty good. Got a story for y'all today coming out of North Carolina. And shout out to everybody in North Carolina. And before I get started with the story, hit that subscribe button and hit that like button. It'll be greatly appreciated. This here is 55-year-old Roger Lee Jr. He left this young 25-year-old man right here, Dontarius Batts, inside of a hot car for more than 8.5 hours while he went inside of a building to go to work. And you may say to yourself, what's going on? What's more of the story? As you heard in the news story, this man here, 55-year-old Roger Lee Jr., went into work at a high school where he worked at as a janitor. And he went in there for so long to the point that he came back outside 2 hours later and checked on him. And when he checked on him, he said in the affidavit or in a report that he was fine once he checked on him. Let's get more into the story. A 25-year-old special needs young man died tragically after being left unattended in a hot car for several hours by his caretaker. Now, they said this caretaker has been caretaking for this young man here for more than 10 years. They said he even went on vacation with the family. So he has went on a vacation with the family, and he has also, when he loved this man to the point when he see this man, his grandmother said in this clip right here,
he would wear out a pair of Venetian blinds looking for him. They had to get safety procedures on the doors because he would walk and look for him so much. And that's the piece that's so painful.
That he would be looking out of the blinds and stuff because the guy is nonverbal, and they had to put signs and stuff up and everything, as you heard in the story, that this man was also, this young 25-year-old man will be looking for this man. So he loved this man, and he loved to be around this guy. He felt comfortable around this guy. Let's get more into the story. The caretaker, identified as Roger Lee Jr., had allegedly snuck off to work at his second job at a North Carolina high school, as you can see right here, while the victim, Dontarius Batts, was still in the vehicle. And you may say to yourself, he's a caretaker for him. What did he work? Was it like a building he worked for him? Was it like a center that he worked for him? No, he was a caretaker. Some caretakers will work for someone and they still able to go home with their family and be with their friends, but they will drive them around and just keep company or take them to the store or whatever. There are many different ways that a person can be a caretaker for somebody. But in this right here, he was a caretaker from this young man because he knew the family real good, and he would take care of them, take care of him. And that was the way that he was a caretaker for him. There are many different services around here that are mobile caretaker services. Let's get more to the story. Roger Lee was supposed to be supervising Batts, but instead he brought Batts along with him, an autistic young man at that, and he was also nonverbal, which means that he could not talk. He left this young man alone in his car while he went inside this high school and worked as a janitor. Now, he's inside of the Cleveland High School located in Clayton County. He's up inside of the place, walking around. Hey, Mr. Jackson. Hey, Miss Jackson. Hey, how you doing, man? Hey, Mr. Smith, you gonna run 20 miles or 200 miles this week? In the football game, just having a good old time, walking around just like ain't nothing going on. Let's get more to the story. When he arrived at his second job at 8 a.m., he left Batts inside of the vehicle with all other windows rolled up with the engine off, which means there was no air conditioner blowing at all. Cruel, man. What the world going on with this dude? 80-some degrees outside. They said it was like 81 degrees outside, and he gonna leave this young man inside the vehicle all alone for hours. They said 8.5 hours. He was outside. This guy was inside. This young 25-year-old man, to be exact, was inside of this vehicle for so long. He was in the vehicle for 8.5 hours, man. But this guy was supposed to love this young man and be a good friend of the family and going on vacations and stuff. This guy right here was just straight up selfish and foolish. Greedy for money, did not care about anything but his money. That's all this man here cared about. Sometimes the people you may think you can trust is the people you cannot trust. And sometimes the people you think you cannot trust, you can't trust them. So you better just trust yourself and trust God if you believe in God. But this here is truly tragic. It was senseless. It could have been avoided. And his grandmother also said, you can't even leave a animal inside of the car by itself. You will get in trouble for leaving an animal inside of the car by itself. Now, they said the temperature was up to like 81 degrees that day. Now, think about this young man, 25 years old, sitting inside this vehicle, autistic, just waiting on this young 55-year-old idiot to come back outside, thinking that he's going inside of the building and coming back out. He's sitting outside just waiting on him, and this guy don't even show back up until 8.5 hours later. Matter of fact, he showed up 2 hours after that, which were around like 10 something or 10 a.m. to check on him, and he said everything was just fine. We don't care about that. We don't care about that at all. So it was around about 4:17 once he made it back outside. Once he made it back outside and checked on this young 25-year-old autistic special needs young man, he was unresponsive. So he got on the phone with 911 and he began to say to them, "It's all my fault. I forgot I was working. It's my fault." Yes, it was your fault. Wasn't nothing allegedly, wasn't nothing on accident. He knew exactly what he was doing because he was greedy and did not care anything about this young man's life. Only thing he cared about was his pocket. This guy could have went and got him a job with Uber. This guy could have got him a job answering his cell phone for something if he wanted a second job. But don't have a human being or an animal sitting outside in a vehicle while you go inside the building for 8.5 hours. How selfish of you. Does not make any sense at all. Now, he stopped by a nearby fire station that's like 2 miles down from the school. And once he made it to the fire station, they tried to revive him, but they could not do it. And he was dead, pronounced dead right there. Sad situation. Now, this man has a mother, has a sister, has a grandmother that will be grieving, and also many other family members that will be grieving over this young man. And he's gone and will not be coming back at all. You can't bring this young man back. Sad situation. He was fired from the high school and he was held under a $35,000 bond. And guess what, y'all? He bonded out. He's still alive. He probably went home and ate some potato chips that day, went home and ate him some KFC, Church's chicken, Wingstop, had a good old time. But this young man, 25 years old, would not be able to be living here on this earth ever again. This is very selfish. Watch out for your people. Watch out who is caretaking for your people. If you have somebody caretaking for your grandmother, for your brother, for your sister, for your mother, for your father, watch and check on them and see what is going on. Just because a person is a caretaker does not mean they care anything about their patient. Just because a person is a doctor don't mean they care anything about their patients. Just because a person is an LVN anywhere in the medical field. There are many doctors each and every day that does surgery on people and they intentionally kill people just because of the color of their skin, their nationality, their race, their creed, all type of things. Just straight hate. It happens every single day. There are a lot of murderers that are in the health system. So watch over your people and see what's going on. Check on your people. Make sure they're okay. Just because you grew up with somebody or just because you went on vacation with somebody don't mean that they love you or care about you. Leave a comment, like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel, and give me your deepest thoughts about this because this story here is truly tragic. It's senseless. It could have been prevented. And I want to send my condolences out to the family of this young 25-year-old autistic young man that had no clue that this was going to be his last day. Even his sister said the same thing.
I wish I would have took a little bit more time with him. If I would have known it was going to be the last time.
As you can see right there in that clip, she said she wished she knew that was his last day. She felt real bad. Even the mother didn't even want to speak on camera because she was so hurt. Tragic. Leave a comment, like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel. Y'all have a good one. Y'all have a blessed one. Until the next video, holla at you later. Peace.